There we are. We're recording. We're on.
Well, I'm now wearing what's now been deemed as the COV New Dice Please surplus.
Beautiful.
So, apologies for all the religious listeners out there.
It is. I do love it.
They're enormous.
Yeah, it's. I tell you what. You're gonna be. It's gonna be winter, and you're gonna be cold, and you're gonna want an extra layer rather than putting the heating on, and this will be the perfect thing.
They are quite cozy.
Yeah, the whole Hovel family can live inside it. Yeah.
Plus the servants. Get everyone in there, Tom. You can claim it as another tax haven as well.
It's a second home. Deary me. Shall we dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Play the intro. Hello, everyone, and welcome to New Dice Please, the bite-sized Blood Bowl podcast brought to you by the people at Blood Bowl Live. My name is Chris. Joining me, as always, Mr. Scott Bryan. Scott, name something that has felt worth waiting for.
Something that's actually last week I was away in a business course and strategy planning, and I was asked a question about naming a high-performance team, and I call us out, and I hadn't shared with anybody I'd worked with before the fact that we do this craziness. So that was worth waiting for because the reaction was really positive. And there's another person who plays AOS and tabletop and Pokemon cards and another Lego collector. So it was like, yeah, wouldn't quite say it was like a coming out experience, but it was a coming out experience.
Wonderful.
A great way of practicing high performance lies.
Joining us also, Mr. Tom Hovel. Tom, something worth waiting for.
Friday. Please, just get it to Friday.
Just every Friday?
Every Friday.
Okay. Fair enough. And joining us, Mr. Luke Baggett. Luke, something worth waiting for?
Hello. God, I don't know. I think I tend to lean towards gaming things, but maybe is it Cop Out Blood Bowl season 3?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm taking that.
That's fine.
Beautiful segue. Beautiful.
I'm going for what I'm still riding the high of watching Lewis Hamilton win in a Ferrari. And that did feel worth waiting for because it did feel like it wasn't ever going to arrive, and I'm still riding that high. So that's what I'm going for. I had my answer prepared before I even asked the question, which is probably cheating, but oh well. We're not here to talk about waiting for things. No. I was inspired this week for this week's topic by a person who is listening to our podcasts possibly right now. I want to shout out Cothram Echo, who is currently working his way through our back catalogue and commenting on like old episodes of our podcast and kind of what he thought about them. So I thought every now and again he kind of says something or says a comment about a take we've made or something that we've said, and it kind of makes me then look back at it and go, would I still think that? And that kind of got me thinking whether there was just anything generally within Blood Bowl games that we've played, tournaments we've gone to, skill choices that we've made. If we could go back, are there any key decisions we've made about playing Blood Bowl or our teams and what's happened in games that we would take back? Is there something we would do differently? If we had a time travel and we could go and change things, is there anything we would change? Luke's smirk makes me think he wants to go first.
I just don't know if it's too early for a low blow to Scott.
I know what you're going to say.
Here it comes.
So, yeah.
Anything goblin related, Scott, or not protecting the ball in knockout games?
Yeah, I understand that, but when you hide your little goblin behind your ogre, and then your goblin had the most ridiculous mutations, if I remember, and he was just going everywhere on a 3-up or something, or 2-up or whatever. No, it's 2-up, wasn't it? So yeah, your lessons learned, isn't it, as well?
For
I'd like
anyone,
to say I had a great time. I'd like to say it,
I also
but I'd be
had a good
lying.
time.
just for context, Scott and
Yeah.
Luke played a thrilling 4-3 extra time knockout match, which there was an incident involving a goblin with various mutations being thrown and picking up a ball and scoring, which sort of started the comeback. But it was a very thrilling game, and that's what Luke, who was the victor of that game, is pushing at. Goblins being thrown aside, Scott, is there anything that you've got like a team choice or a team played, maybe something that you would take back or change?
Um, for me, the first thing I would take back is I remember playing Justin Smith game. Justin, if you're listening, or good morning. And when I first started playing Skaven, I thought I was doing well because I learned how to the fact that to do a 1 or 2 turn touchdown with Skaven, and I used to stack all the team heavy flank, and Justin rolled a blitz, which really screwed me over, and it taught me a valuable lesson in terms of, yes, it's only a 1 in 12% chance of getting that blitz action, but hey, you'll get bitten by it one day. So I remember to check those corners, as they say, watch those flanks. That was a valuable life skill. Very humbling, but hey, what can I say?
I feel like getting punished on a blitz based on your kickoff setup. I think I've done that so many times and probably still not learned from it. I think but then there are times where you kind of do a different setup on kickoff, and you're doing it. Maybe you're behind or whatever the situation is, and you're doing it hoping for the luck to be in your favor that it works out, and it just doesn't. So I don't know whether I'd necessarily learned from the fact that I still do that and still mess up on that.
I think I would agree with that. I think the big kind of revelation for me was that it's a game of dice, so there is chance, a lot of chance involved.
It wasn't a clue there when you started playing. It's like, ooh, what are these square
What are
things
these
for?
square things?
I know, but you kind of go, you look at your team, and that's the other thing. You look at the team and think, this is an amazing team. This is going to literally like be touchdown heaven. And then, just as you say, you do kick off, and a rock bit is thrown in from the crowd, and it takes out your star player or something. And I think that's something that I kind of started to. It's only taken me 4 or 5 years to learn, but it's just like it's a game of chance at the end of the day. You can position your players to the best that you can. You can get that beautiful net or a fantastic cage, but just takes a couple of dice on a good or a bad roll to just completely flip the table.
So is there a Blood Bowl decision, Tom, that you would do differently or you would make differently that you can think of that you've done?
Don't pick up that first box set. Put it back down and maybe look at something like a card game or something that doesn't.
So your Blood Bowl decision you would take back is Blood Bowl.
No, not at all. I think it's the fact. My biggest kind of thing is don't rush your players. You don't have to move every player at every time. And you don't have to move them to their maximum, which is probably the biggest thing I did. Was the first 3 games was like, right, everything moves, dismount, everything go forward.
Oh, Tom, you're still unnecessarily rushing. Me and Luke sat there watching you do it at the weekend. You're still doing that.
No, it's good. It's good. Why would you not have a sprint on a werewolf otherwise?
Luke, have you got an immediate thing you can think of that you would do differently?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the start of season 3, taking Orcs in the league, I don't think if I had the choice again, like if I had the sort of hindsight of seeing how well someone would do with Orcs in the league and then taking them myself, I don't think I would have made that active choice. I think they've felt so strong this edition and just kind of snowball really heavily. And because I much more enjoy playing sort of challenging, slightly unique weird teams typically. And I think orcs for an experienced coach feel too strong. I think they're amazing for a new player who needs the sort of get out of jail free cards that give you a bit of sort of protection for bad decisions or poor positioning. But an experienced coach doesn't need those gimmies kind of thing, like where it almost means you sort of relax your attention a bit, where because they can do everything so well, you can play less focused and still do fine. So I think for me that isn't the way I enjoy playing Blood Bowl too much.
What would you have taken instead if you were going back and choosing a different team? And like you say, if you had the hindsight that you maybe got now, what team would you have gone for?
Yeah, I think probably Nobility to start with, because I think they're challenging and have quite a particular play style, but you can still do really well with them once you sort of build them right and get them where you want them. Like, again, seeing how Justin's built his has been like quite exciting, and I think that could be quite fun. And I do wish I'd given stunties more of a go from the start. Like, the more I'm getting into them now, I'm no good with them at all, but they are the most fun Blood Bowl I've ever had playing stunties. But because how are you finding ogres, Chris? Would you have started them sooner?
Well, I did try, but I think I'm enjoying ogres more now because of the changes and because of the addition of things like bullseye. And I think that is making me enjoy them more, because I think the issue I had with them was their gimmick almost was that you could do a throw and a kick teammate. Like that was the ogre gimmick, really, aside from kind of the strength that you've got. But the kick teammate and the throw teammate are both a little bit random, because you can't aim that. So unless it's like a big cage or a clump of players where you've got a high chance, otherwise you couldn't really kind of specifically target someone and have a high success rate. Whereas now you can, and it feels like a bit of a game changer. It feels like you can really have fun with them, and you can really, with not bad odds, with odds better than some blocks against, you come up against a block dodge player, you are better off trying to throw a teammate than you are trying to punch them if you don't have a skill that's going to help you. So so I'm enjoying them more now. I don't regret taking them, like regret leaving them and coming back to them. I think I'm happier with them now than I was. What I would say is one of my possibly Blood Bowl things that I would take back is I think I would have redrafted my Skaven side that I never got to redraft. That's probably the biggest thing that I missed the opportunity to do, because there was an incredible side and the skills that they had were incredible. I had 2 block, dodge, sidestep, sprint gutter runners, like ready to go, and a thrower with on the ball and accurate, and I think fumble Ruski. I can't remember. Like I had just this incredible array of players. 2 blitzers, both with mighty blow, and I just wish I'd had the chance to bring them back, and I wish I hadn't attempted a turn 3 pass against Nurgle with them, because I think had I not done that, I've won that quarterfinal as well.
Would you take back standing on the Rat Ogre?
No, there's not a world where I would regret stomping on that Rat Ogre. Not to see. Do you know what my regret would be? That I took the Rat Ogre, because had I not taken it, I would have had possibly inducements to do something more fun and do something better. So there's so many things around that Skaven team that I would go back and I would do differently. Skill wise, I think they were perfect, but I would redraft them. I would not try and pass against Nurgle, and I would not take a Rat Ogre ever.
Just for clarification, this was in season 2, not season 3.
Yes. This was back when you could have four beautiful gutter runners doing all sorts of shenanigans.
I did consider stepping on Skitter after Carrot Crunch after those 6 games. But I am adamant to at least finish positive with Snotlings at a tournament. So I am going to try and do that.
And I always like to put this clarification in. I 3D printed my Rat Ogre quite poorly, so I didn't. I just want to say I didn't stomp on like an expensive resin GW Rat Ogre. Like I stomped on a 3D print that could have done better. Just to be clear.
I think if the love's not there, we all understand why the stomp came about, Chris. And and kudos to you. You did destroy that with a suitable amount of violence and anger. So it was all positive.
It had to be done. It had to be done.
What about Tom and Scott? Is there any particular models or positionals you've wanted to step on in your Blood Bowl careers?
Mine or someone else's.
I think let's say your own.
Let's say your own.
All right. Now I'm going to call out someone else's. So I've just mentioned them, so I'll mention them again. On my own, a Roger I've had enough of at times. Just annoys you because you fail the one, or then you just punch the living daylight out of one of your players as well, and that just gets frustrating at times. And you when they just don't behave. So the Roger has really annoyed the crowd. Oh, a tree. Sorry, the other one is a tree. Take root. Oh, here we go again. Take root, and then someone just has to knock them down, and then you can't do stand up for love nor money. So it's just so frustrating, which is why I don't take trees these days. Or do I, Luke? Anyway, and then the other one as well.
I it first turn last time.
True. And then the other one as well, which is really annoying. It's just when we used to have mercenaries in the league, and again I was playing rats at the time, and I wasn't aware of tackle as a skill, so I didn't think anything of it. But by God, it was one mercenary lineman with with tackle as a skill, and I couldn't get a block or a stumble or a power against him, just pushing him around. He just stand next to my gutter runners, and it was just the most soul destroying thing going. So yeah, so problem. But again, that was Justin Smith. Thank you, Justin, for those memories, and hopefully making me the coach I am today.
Tom, what about you?
I think for me, there's 2 of them. Well, one's a complete set. All my vampires. The thralls are fine. The thralls are perfect players. They do exactly what you want them to do. All the vampires in my team I need to feed them more blood before the game because they just hemorrhage the entire team every time, and it just got just frustratingly annoying. And the other one is probably the team I absolutely love at the moment, which is my Necromantic Horrors. I really, for whatever reason, I went away from them with a couple of tournaments. Didn't play with them, was what I mean, in a couple of tournaments. I've been playing in the league, and I found real love for my Necromantic Horror. But the one single player that I'm waiting to just put under my boot is my Ghoul Runner. Every time, cannot pick that bloody ball up, even with shorthand. And I'll be like, right, do I secure the ball for 2, or do I go for the shorthands on 3? Regardless, both times will fail, guaranteed on the first time. And I'm like, oh my goodness, please don't be against an Edge team, because they'll just be round the back of me and just taking that ball. So yeah, the Ghoul Runners are horrible little individuals.
So I'm going to put myself and Luke possibly under the bus a little bit here. And this is probably a question that's easier for us to answer than Scott and Tom. Leagues wise, we've all played in a good number of league seasons now. Is there anything that has any kind of thing in the setup or the kind of the rules of a league season that if you could go back in time and you could change for a particular season that you would change? And I'll open this maybe to tournament rule sets as well. If there's something that's maybe within a tournament rule set that you look back on and you think, oh, if I just changed this within this rule set, then things would be different. Is there anything in particular you can think of that you would undo or redo?
Just quickly jumping in very quickly on the tournament side of things, I'm just curious about why are a lot of tournaments 115 in cash, because it's a really frustrating number, because there are so many teams that just need an extra 5 or an extra 10 to get it to a really nice, fun kind of team.
I think that's the point, Tom.
That's boring. I want a fun team.
Yeah,
That's why you go to the Carrot Crunch.
Sorry?
Carrot Crunch was
That's why you go to
Carrot
Carrot
Crunch
Crunch.
115.
That was 115.
Classic was 1.2.
Classic was 1.2.
Oh yeah, 1.2.
Yeah.
Sorry, Classic.
I wonder if it's probably, I mean, having not written a tournament pack myself, I would guess it's at 1.2. A lot of the tier 1 teams are just getting free rerolls, kind of, and as much inducement, or like kegs or apothecaries, basically for free, without having to make any decisions. But then the more expensive teams like Necro are then sort of just getting to where they want to be at 1.2. I imagine it's something like that, and the balance is everyone just decides that they'd rather not have super good teams, even better, I think. But I mean, how does the decision come about at the Classic, Chris? Was it because you wanted to allow more stars and things, or was it, what was the sort of logic?
I think it was a bit of Tom's thinking, actually. I think it was doing a lot of 1150 tournaments and constantly feeling, and this might just be the teams that I play as, constantly feeling like I was just short of what I really wanted. And I wanted as many people to feel like they had exactly what they wanted. So, and the extra 50k did that. Now, if you look at the kind of teams that I normally play, the two teams I play the most at the moment are Ogres and Lizards, and both of them are considerably different with an extra 50k. So, and that's in old rules and new rules as to kind of what you can take. So I think that was it. And then I've always just wanted to open up the stars, but obviously having a little bit more budget means you get more stars because you can afford them, you can sneak them in. So that was kind of where my thinking was very much kind of what Tom's said there. It was, I've always feel just short, and now I'm in a position where I can not be just short.
I think that one is one thing. So not on sort of rules wise, but on list building wise, I regret taking Varag with orcs to that, because I think it was sort of like too enticing not to take him. But I think he spent probably 3 out of 6 drives on the bench, and it's such a big chunk to your team value sitting off the bench if you can't get them to play. And so I think I'd probably play it more conservatively and take a sort of cheaper star that still does something unique next time. Although I personally really love Star Bowl. I think it's has I've forgotten his name.
Steve said last week.
Steve, yeah. As he said, like it is part of the game, and I think being able to play against it sort of makes games exciting. But the winner of that tournament took Amazons with a Halfling Master Chef, which is maybe again that sort of, if you give them 1.2k, they can do stuff like that. And they didn't take any stars. He might have had one normal reroll or something like that. But the team he could build, the team he could build was still super strong.
I think I wouldn't change the classic rule set. If I could go back and rewrite the rule sets, maybe that first year I would change the scoring possibly, but otherwise I don't think I would change it, because I like the extra money and I like all the stars. He's not here to defend himself, so I would change the rule sets for the first two tournaments that me and Feeks and our group of friends do, because if I swap rule set 1 with rule set 2, then I win the first two tournaments, and Feeks does come second in both of them. So I would maybe just swap those around and do rule set 2 first and then rule set 1. But I don't know. I'm trying to think. Scott, can you think of like a tournament or a league where if just one rule had been slightly different, that would have you would have changed that and that would have impacted things for you?
A lot of the teams I play sort of in the tournaments are very edge teams, whether it's basically Wood Elves or Skaven. I think that's so I think for me, if there could have been something which would have incentivized, and I played Underworld Denizens as well. So if there could have been something in a tournament to incentivize me just to try maybe some other teams a little bit more. That's the one thing but I am starting to look at that and embrace different teams, over the course of this season as well.
A counter argument for the meta chasing teams, then, if we could up the amount, but if you go for a meta chasing team that the tournament owner deems a meta chasing team, that person has to have a glass of water every time they finish a turn, and they can't go to the toilets until the end of the tournament.
What is the matter with you?
How many glasses of wine have you drunk tonight on a Monday? Things that bad.
Just evens the score, really, doesn't it? So it's like the mind and like, oh, I've got to focus. Oh, I need to look. So yeah.
So basically, if you have a tier 1 team, it's just about you versus bladder control rather than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. You know, people will be in training for that months in advance.
Really filter out the true tiehards turning up in adult nappies.
Yeah. I was expecting Tom to go down the route of doing like the grid where tier 1 teams get less cash and stuff, but no, it's the solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would get people turning up in diapers 100%. If that was the stipulation, that would happen.
I think so.
So there you go. Progress.
There are Ipswich Classic 4th
We've got
edition.
Googling Amazon there.
Diapers.
Oh dear. So okay, that's kind of various things there. I'm the last thing then before we end. Sticking with the idea that you've got a time machine and you can go back. I feel pretty comfortable with 3rd edition at the minute, but if there's one thing, and I don't want the obvious things. I don't want Brawling Brutes. I don't want Team Captain. I don't want these things that lots of people are talking about. If there's something a little bit different that you think with 3rd edition you would like them to have changed or like them to have done differently, what would it be?
So I think for mine, I think it's how they handled the sort of rejigging of teams. I still would have loved a sort of like subdivisions of teams. So, you'd get orcs and savage orcs, or, I mean, humans are a good one. You've got base humans, but then you've got nobility and Bretonians and so on. Chaos, you've then got those 4. And so, because it would open up stuff with Skaven as well. You could do like mold, like the clans. So like Molder or Skyer or whatever the assassin ones are called. And like having sort of a way to diversify the team pool further. And sure, it would mean everyone having to learn a few more teams and like the options they had. But I think that, that kind of triples the roster count, which I think could be a lot of fun. You rarely would get, I mean, there still would be top teams, but you'd hope that stuff like tournaments, you'd get more variety of rosters, I suppose, rather than someone solving this is the best one for this tournament and hopefully giving a few more options. Because I think that's where Blood Bowl gets stale for me, is where we've solved it for this tournament, this edition, this league. And I think having more options is better, I think.
So almost like D&D subclasses for the kind
Yeah,
of,
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Scott?
I'm not against that at all. I think the nice thing about Blood Bowl is you can go to a tournament which will suit your needs. There's so many of them out there as well. So for me, I think the more opportunities to appeal to a wider range of coaches is good for me. I'm not disliking. In terms of my dislike season 3, yeah, team captain get shot of that's just a pain in the ass. So why ever GW decided on that, and just to give it to humans and to orcs, no need. But apart from that, yeah, in liking it, I'm out of the box and box bowl as it's called, like limited positionals. Yeah, I get it. It might turn around. People can still play season 2 if they want to. I'm quite happy and quite in a comfortable place with it, and it's encouraging me to do to play different teams as well. So yeah, long may it continue.
Tom?
I think it's something that's already been kind of effectively thrown out by the community, and that's prayers to Nuffle. It's like no one uses it or does it. And I know where they're coming from. I can kind of understand for the casual player, because again, I suppose GW have to look at every different type of player. You've got your league players, you've got your tournament players, but you've also got someone who's just like picking up a board game for their child for their birthday or Christmas, for Christ's sake. And that's what it is. At the end of the game, it's no different to Monopoly. It's just the fact that we go and meet a lot of other people and play in tournaments and stuff. I think Prayers to Nuffle, adds that additional randomness in it, and I quite like some of it. And I know I was facetious about the drinking water, but that could really have a big impact in a tournament play.
You're doubling down on the water.
Doubling down on the water bit.
Yeah.
But what would you? Is there something about Press Enough you would change to stop people banning it so quickly? Because the general opinion seems to be that they are too cheap for how powerful they are. So would you do something to rebalance it so that TOs and league commissioners are a bit more inclined to keep them?
Yeah, I think, to be brutally honest, I really liked and enjoyed some of the things in Gutter Bowl. Gutter Bowl kind of died a little bit of a death, but it had some really nice little things like the potions. Rather than Prayers to Nuffle, do the potion thing, because the potions were quite evenly balanced. You could get really fantastic skills if you rolled high, or you'd get horrible things happening to your team. And maybe something like that. Maybe get rid of Prayers to Nuffle and bring in potions or something along those lines. Because it's a bit like there's a lot of things within the whole of the game that never get used. The balls, the unique balls, the unique pitches, never played them, never seen them. And there's clearly a lot of effort they've gone into those things. So, I'd like to see, I know we're talking about getting rid of stuff, but I'd like to see a little bit more variety, because everyone plays the game to a certain style. And I think sometimes, we've talked about it previously in other podcasts, that it'd be nice to have a little bit of variety in some of the tournaments that we go to or some of the leagues.
I think if I could go back and have a word with someone at GW to change something, I would like to normalize a little bit more the way that the Halfling Master Chef is kind of the only example. Halfling Master Chef is cheaper for halflings, but anyone can have it. I would like to see price lists for maybe either different leagues or different teams that mean that inducements are slightly different across the board. a team where all of your positionals are quite cheap and quite cheap to replace and maybe don't have very interesting skills or something like that. Let's make their apothecary either cheaper or more expensive because it's not really important, or cheaper because your players are cheaper to fix. Like, let's have kegs cost slightly less or slightly more for different teams. I don't know. The main one that comes to mind is rookies. It feels like rookies were made more expensive to punish snotlings, and it's accidentally punished ogres as well, who maybe didn't need punishing. So I think, make riotous rookies, like, make them more expensive for snotlings because they can already put loads of players on the pitch, so they don't need extra. Make them cheaper for ogres because they want to swarm as well. But do you see kind of where I'm getting at? Make some of the inducements a little bit more varied, like the Halfling Master Chef is.
Snotling's got a double whammy though on that side of things because they also got the insignificant rule as well.
Yeah, but no one cares about that. It simply doesn't do anything. Like, they're still like snotlings are still powerful enough that people now tier them higher than tier 4. So it's kind of people are just tiering them instead.
One other quick thing on the inducements. I think some teams should be able to roster bribes.
It would make sense.
But I think someone like goblins who have a lot of secret weapons, they're gonna want that. I think they should be able, even if it was just one, like that buys them their chainsaw an extra drive or stuff like that. And it kind of fits their whole narrative, like they are seedy and underhand and do crazy things on the pitch. So you would think that their coach would set aside bribe money every single game. It's that which obviously they can induce it, but I like the idea of rostered bribes for teams like goblins.
You almost need like a halfling master chef, like the goblin promoter, who goes over and gives money out to the refs and stuff, and you can get that for 100k for the goblin team, but it's 300k for someone else. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see if, when maybe GW decide to bring out the next level in terms of the Death Bowl equivalent or Death Zone equivalent for Season 3.
See what kind of appears in there, because the mascot was originally a Death Bowl inducement, wasn't it? It wasn't a core rule book, and they moved it over. I think
because we've used the mascot a lot, like in our leagues and local tournaments, but before this edition, you barely ever saw the option for the mascot as an inducement.
Yeah, we were very familiar before it kind of became as common as it is, and before it got better, it got cheaper and better. So I think maybe some inducement varying prices for different teams. I think that could be quite interesting and could give kind of a new dynamic to different teams. Well, if you are listening and you have a time machine, and maybe you've already gone back and changed something, and now my hat is blue. Who knows? If you have anything that you want to change, or there's something that we've said that you desperately want us to not change, Mr. Scott Bryan, how can people get in touch?
Mr. Chris Coe, if people want to get in touch with us to find out about time travel shenanigans or life lessons that are still very bitter, very raw, they can get in touch with us. But before that, I'm just going to give a shout out, if I may. Take the power of the New Dice, please, for what it is. Just a shout out to all of the guys down in Chorley for Chor Bowl, even Simon, Ollie, Ian, etc., etc. Just a very quick one. So if you are in the Chorley area, or if you are even in the northeast of England and you fancy some Blood Bowl action, the new Chor Bowl League will be starting soon. So that's going to be starting in a couple of weeks. Still time to get your teams registered, still time to get included in what sounds like it's going to be a very spectacular league. Looking forward to playing in that. Are they as sophisticated and as good looking as the ADBBL? only time will tell, but I'll report back on that in due course. So yeah, drop them a note. They're all on Facebook, chorbowl@yahoo.com, etc., etc. But if you want to get in touch with us about anything else, drop us a note. Usual place, usual way. newdiceplease@gmail.com. And if you want to watch more Blood Bowl action, like Tom Hovell showing his magnificence of coming from a 2-0 deficit to a 3-2 win, Mr. Tom Hovell, how can people revel in your glory and wonder as a Blood Bowl coach?
Yeah, if you want to see my pain and frustration, you can see us on Blood Bowl Live at YouTube. But equally, a big shout out to Joel and from emailing us, as Scott just mentioned there. Thank you very much. I'm pleased you loved the werewolf, and I'm intrigued about the dauntless wraith that you had on your tournament as well. You can also get us on the socials. On New Dice Please in Instagram and Blue Sky.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Scott. Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you very much, Luke. Thank you,
Is Luke
everybody.
not doing word of the day?
I nearly got.
I know you did. I know you did.
Can I do a better one?
Go on then.
Why don't we offer, as Scott has kindly advertised Chalk Bowl, have you got a league that's starting up soon or a tournament you want us to give a shout out? Maybe let us know, because it's always nice to be able to spread local leagues and keep them growing.
Yeah, the furthest one. See how far we can get.
Yeah, well, we're not just UK based. We're international.
Yeah, we are. Where is the furthest league taking place, distance-wise, from my PC?
That we can advertise. Yeah.
So just send us your address and a blank check, and then we'll work it out.
Yeah, then we'll iron it out. Yeah, perfect.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much, Scott. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We have been New Dice Please, and we will see you next time.